streaming then. Yeah. My new favorite thing is when I'm opening my little YouTube icon so that I can go to YouTube Studio. And now they've put a new block of shit that I don't need. Before, what I didn't need was the YouTube Studio thing. Now I do need it. And now the new thing that they're impeding me from going to YouTube Studio, they've now put in go to my Google account. And I'm very sorry. When I click on this, what does it bring me to? Great. It just brings me to literally my Google account. Why would I ever fucking need that? This is the same account that I attached to like my Gmail and my Drive. I already have separate links for this. I don't know. Maybe this is some mode of convenience for business types. Like the Google account is somehow related to the YouTube account. I don't know. I'm from a different era where I just think of YouTube as a site in isolation. And it is strangely difficult for me to disassociate it from being another claw attached to Google. Really turn down the Minecraft music when I'm complaining. Like a true YouTuber complaining over Minecraft music. How do I stand out from the big boys? All the big boys always complain. I need to not. Get a shareable link. Well, here's how I'll stand out from the big boys. I'll get my shareable link. There we go. And you play it to the beat. I was recently listening to fucking Plankton AI songs, like Plankton singing Rolling in the Deep. Fucking weird as hell phenomenon of just taking Plankton AI generated voices and having them sing songs surprisingly well, with my favorite one being not even a Plankton one, the one where they take Zach Hadel's voice and they have him singing You'll Be in My Heart, a song from the animated Tarzan movie. I love it because it's actually very, very well made. And it sounds really great, honestly. It's so catchy. I sometimes turn it on unironically just so I can listen to good music. It's really funny to think about, but it's true. It's so true and real. Will you ever have like a rat as a pet? You know what's the issue? Is that the word rat sounds wrong. Right? Like the word rat. Like I feel like we've been taught that rat is just a dirty word. A disgusting, foul creature. And it should not be celebrated nor cherished. They should be murdered. And to be fair, historically, rats carry diseases and kill people just by association, just by being near them. So I guess technically, yes, rats are definitely filthy, and they do fall under the context of vermin. But don't mice also do the same thing? Why are mice any different? You think of a mouse, and you're like, oh, a mouse. Oh, a character in Disney. Fucking Feifel Goes West. Like... I love them. I love mice. I love mice. I don't love rats. In The Secret of Nim, the character that you're following is a mouse. And they have to go into a fortress that, to be fair, it was full of rats. And the rats were good guys, but your main character was not a rat. They did not want their main character being a rat. They wanted it being a mouse. You love mice. You do not love rats. It's not fair, man. That's all I'm saying. They're the fucking same. How come I can't find the place to... There's this one server. It's got like 1 billion people in it. And I want to support them. And I want to... Or wait, no, not... I want them to support me, goddammit. But, I go there every time and I'm just like, oh man, how do I advertise my stream? Oh, there's not a single channel for advertising streams. Oh, Neo. Oh, hi. Is this the Neo I'm thinking of? Hello. Here to watch my progress, make sure I don't mess up. I promise I'm being super duper careful with these bros. I've been getting very, like, experimental with the colors, which is very fun for me. Just seeing, like, what looks good, what looks bad, etc. Because I know eventually I'm going to run this past everyone in the group. So even if I make some, like, kind of like weird drastic decisions, if anyone is, like, against it, I can quickly just change it. Yeah, no, AI voices are honestly hysterical. The whole controversy of AI, I'm definitely, like, on board with it. I think that kind of stuff does need to get regulated, absolutely. And this includes voices, but also Plankton AI singing is funny. I can live in both worlds, where I think that one thing is funny, and I also think, you know, shit should be regulated. It's just... It's a crazy new concept that we all gotta deal with. Wow. I'm not nearly, like, important enough. I have voiced in some, like, stuff professionally, which is a crazy thing to think about and realize is actually true. But I've yet to get to the point where I think I should put a copyright on my voice so that AI doesn't steal it. But I don't know. Maybe one of these days I'll have to genuinely think about it. Yeah, you man commented on my Ruby video if that's a Neo you're thinking of. Oh no, I was thinking of, well, I'm thinking of my friend Neo that we share a Discord, and he commissioned me to make these exact DMs. I'm suspecting that you're not that Neo then. The name Neo sometimes gets, like, passed around. I definitely read quite a couple of those comments from the Ruby video. Did you like it? That video got way more popular than I could have ever expected. And you know what? That's always how it goes, isn't it? Like, I like to think I put effort into most of my videos. There's some that I just definitely shit out. And that Ruby one was definitely one that I just kind of shit out. I put effort into the editing, but it was such a, like, one-off, oh man, I saw this meme, and isn't that funny? All right, let's make a little thing out of it. I remembered I was telling my friend, the person who did the Ruby voice, my friend Amber Greystoke, who has a YouTube channel. I was telling her, oh hey, isn't this a funny meme? I'm going to ask a different actress to do it because she's, like, this professional, and Amber was like, well, wait, why not ask me? And I'm like, well, I can ask you, but I wanted to try this professional lady first. And if I don't like her performance, then I'll ask you. And then Amber immediately, like, recorded what you heard. And I was like, all right, great. That's actually perfect. I did not mean for this to become, like, a competition of sorts, but I appreciate Amber's enthusiasm. And she did a wonderful job, so I'm glad I didn't, like, pass up that opportunity. Two favorite fandoms? Oh my god, dude. Like, I hate to admit that I honestly really love Ruby conceptually, because I have a lot of issues with Ruby. Me and my friend Amber, we both share a lot of issues with Ruby, but it has, like, a lot to appreciate about it too. I got a group of buddies that it's like me, it's my friend Amber, it's my friend Cynical. These are all just, you know, people in my immediate group of friends. We all watch Ruby consistently. My friend Cynical watches it the fastest. Like, they'll just go in and watch like any given episode the second it comes out. I'll usually like wait a little bit. But all of us, we have so much fun kind of just analyzing and honestly like roasting RWBY. The thing is though, I like to think that we're coming at it with a semblance of like like artistic respect. Like, I love all the people that made RWBY and made it a thing, because I have so many pleasant memories of like watching the original RWBY with my friends and building like this lovely connection with this sort of like niche show that then blew up into something way bigger. That's all like great and beautiful, but I cannot deny that the story has gone off the fucking rails, and they never ever fully recover. Like, fans will make stories that seem a lot cooler, and then Rooster Teeth will take it and just go off and just make like the weirdest decisions possible. It's crazy. Archangel Xeon. Oh, I see. Okay. You would have watched, if you had money, you would have watched. Wait, is Volume 9 out now? You just have to pay for it? Have I seen Volume 9? Hold on. I need to look that up. You see, I watch it with my friend who pays for it, and then we like watch it together, so I may have not even realized I've watched Volume 9. Ah, yes. Okay, I just noticed who you were. Yeah, you were recommending making more of them. Oh, Volume 9 is... It's the one with, yeah. So you have not seen Volume 9 yet. Along gets pretty wild. It's like... There's a lot to appreciate about it. But, I don't know, the ending is... I'll just say, the ending's pretty controversial. Even people in the fandom are really weirded out by it. But, you know, your mileage will vary on how much it actually, like, bothers you. I don't want to talk too much on it. I don't want to, like, color your opinion or anything, because I assume at some point you will watch it. But yeah, they made quite a few decisions. They get a little, like, weird and wacky. I liked it well enough. The whole time, I was trying to give RWBY the benefit of the doubt, because for a very long time, I was always giving it shit. And being like, you know, oh man, this is so bad, and oh, that's so, like, sloppy, and oh, they could have done a better job there. That after doing that for a few years, you just think, okay. How about I step back and actually give it some credit? Because then it seems like what I'm saying actually means something. Like, if you only complain exclusively over and over, your complaints don't hold any water anymore. You just become whingy, you know? Even so, I still had issues with Volume 9. It's a very imperfect show, let's say that. Kind of the same way the story of Devil May Cry is. That being said, though, Devil May Cry is a lot more fun with its story. The fights in RWBY are still decently fun. Gosh, as a Devil May Cry fan, I have to say that, like, DMC, I'm still weirdly fascinated by it. The, like, gritty reboot. Hey there, Scud. Hey there, Taco. Boy, I don't recognize you guys. You guys are new. Welcome. You never played D&D? Oh, it's wonderful. D&D inspired me to make the comic that I'm working on right now. And also, hello, Scud. Coming to Rooster Teeth. in 2024? Really? So you have to pay for it? I didn't even realize. I'm so friggin' privileged. Like, I'm just aping off the backbone of my friend. I thought it was out and free for everyone to watch. Seems super cool. I'm able to watch a show through the first time without seeing the Dante versus Team Ruby. Who would win? It'd be Dante. It would 100% be Dante. Dante and Devil May Cry 4 got, like, the absolute shit kicked out of him by Nero and had a sword thrown through his chest, and he didn't even care. Ruby, like, struggles quite a lot. Team Ruby, like, is often struggling. I guess I don't really understand the nature of the Silver Eye thing. That, as far as, like, a plot detail, is, like, a little contrived, so I don't know how much power it actually has. But yeah, no, 100% I just think it would be Dante. Dante is also just kind of written to be like a super powerful Goku-like character, where they will definitely win in the end because they're just like, I think they're basically invincible. I love that we have new people in the chat. Hello. Mainly heard that it was a very nerdy board game. That's sort of a closed-minded way of looking at it. It's role play. That's what you should focus on. If you don't like role play, then you won't like Dungeons and Dragons. It's mostly like acting and storytelling. People do get into like the board game aesthetic of it, but that just depends on who you're playing with. Some people will make it a whole thing of like, you know, oh yeah, we have to like, I don't know, fight through a dungeon or something like that. Or, oh man, I want to create like this like crazy monster for you to fight, and then you'll just make like one session where you guys sit down and try and like cobble your way through it. It's a role play, it's an RPG. It's a role play game with a lot of like strategy to it. Or it can strictly just be role play where you don't even have to worry about combat. There's a lot of different ways to approach it, but first and foremost, I would say it's a role play game. You go in, you play a character. I love to do that because I love to act. And I love storytelling. So yeah, it's right up my alley. I wouldn't recommend it to everybody, but I don't know, it's fun. It's fun. He would slam. Been watching your Oni vid. So, long time watcher, first time chatter. My Oni vid? You mean my Oni plays animated that I did? Dang, that was kind of a while ago, wasn't it? I've been on YouTube for a very long time, but you're right. Yeah, that was kind of a while ago, wasn't it? Apparently Rooster Teeth took Ruby and RVB of YouTube because they didn't make money? What? Took Ruby and RVB. Wait, tell me, what is RVB of YouTube because they didn't make... Are you saying that they took Ruby off of YouTube? Because I think I heard something about that. Like they didn't get ad revenue or something. It only works on Grim until it worked on Cinder. See, that's the thing about fucking Ruby, right? It's like, oh, yeah, no, the Silver Eyes only work on Grim until it worked on Cinder. It's all up in the damn air. Oh, we don't talk about that. Like Skyrim. I'm having a DnD this Saturday. Our DM recently just finished his Air Force training. Ooh, and was stationed near another player, so we're back from hiatus. Hey. Oh, Red versus Blue. Red versus Blue. Thank you. Red versus Blue. Really? God. I'm so nostalgic for Red versus Blue, man. I did not watch all of it, but I totally remember when it first came out and me just being like, this is the funniest thing in the world. I love it so much. I'm gonna watch it and not retain any of the information, but just remember the guys like chatting in a field. That was such a primo internet time though. When, you just like recorded yourselves in Halo and you just made like the dumbest jokes ever, but it connected with like your audience. You were making dumb ass jokes, but people playing Halo were also making dumb ass jokes as they were, shooting each other in that one map that I can't remember its name. It resonated with people. Red versus Blue, I totally get why that was like a classic. Even if it's, you know, looking back, it's probably not held up very well. The power scaling in Ruby is ridiculous. I do not think they even think about it. I think between seasons, they get different writers, and then the writers don't keep up with, like, power scales. Like, if power scaling really mattered in the story, they would have a chart, right? They would actually make, like, a big listing of, like, what are the most powerful moves? What are their resistance? What are their weaknesses? What are their strengths? And who is, like, resistant or weak to, you know, each power. You know, if that kind of scaling mattered, you would make a chart, and then you'd consult it, and you'd give it to every writer of the show, right? Because it matters to the story. If it matters to the story. Apparently to Ruby, it doesn't matter to the story. And you know, it doesn't have to matter to some stories. Some stories are just about, like, the characters, and you don't need to worry so much about power scaling. Honestly, like, Dragon Ball sort of lost me with its power scaling, but I feel like if the story was written less around the fact that, oh, Goku loves getting into fights, and so he has to look for more powerful enemies, if that wasn't literally the plot of Dragon Ball, it probably wouldn't be a big deal when he keeps meeting dudes who are stronger than him. Like, Yu Yu Hakusho is kind of like that, where the people involved, like the enemies that he fights, they're obviously going to, like, get stronger with each encounter, but it's never really scaled or calculated or quantified except by fans that are just, like, interested in that kind of stuff. It's not relevant to the story, so it's not fixated on. But Dragon Ball's a different thing. Like, Dragon Ball, literally, they keep saying, this guy's more powerful than Goku, wow! And then Goku has to get, like, a power-up to get more powerful than him. It's like power scaling is a part of the story. So, yeah, more attention should be brought to that if you're gonna do it. Anyway. As for Season 3, you tapped out. Fair enough. Fair enough. Of Ruby? Season 3, was that the one where, you know, where Cinder... You know, where, you know, the school, when it, you know, is that when that happened? And then everyone, you know, went for a walk in the woods for like 2 seasons. Is that when that happened? Power scaling Ruby is weird. Back in the Machinima days. Ugh. Machinima days. Is Machinima, like, deleted now, like, the channel? I know most, if not all, of their videos are gone. Is it? That is? Okay, great. I totally get why you would tap out after that, then. Because, yeah, that's when the story got extra weird. I was optimistic when that happened. I was thinking, like, okay, this is an opportunity for us to, like, get better. You know, this is a chance for us to, like, try something new and go in, like, an interesting direction. And they did go in some interesting directions, I'll admit. I mean, there was stuff in there that I really, really loved, but I don't know, it never got that cool. And then they just started making decisions I did not care for. That moment when a friend unleashes a super destructive OP attack, rolls 15, and then you just block because you roll a 20. I really feel like there should be some contingency plan. Like, clearly there should be, because in D&D, you're telling a story, right? Like, surely there should be a threshold where it's like, this isn't even something you can roll. This is just, it's too fucking fast, right? 4 and 5 were slow. 4 and 5, what was the one where they were in the damn city and there was an election? I hate that one. That one took forever. There was, like, stuff in that arc that I thought was, like, okay. But God, I always think about that one, and I always think, oh my god, please just fucking kill me. I hate it. I hate that it was an election. I hate that the person you're supposed to elect was really, really goddamn annoying. This woman that was like, she was supposed to be an elected official, but she wore like a trashy, like duster, like she just came out of Fallout or something. 7 and 9, 8, not 9. Wait, so is it? Wait, is it? Neo, you just confused me so fast. So you're saying it's volume 8 when the election happened? Only checked back recently because apparently Yang and Blake got together. Oh yeah, they did. And then it was meme to death because of Ruby's outfit. I remember that. I remembered people saying like... I remember people saying that Ruby was homophobic because she got mad at Yang for dating Blake. And just the thought of that is so fucked up. But god, that's such a good meme. Ruby, the main character of the show, is homophobic against Blake and Yang. Can I also say, Blake and Yang, I mean, it's cute that, like, they established a relationship thing, like, pretty early on and finally paid it off. Because shows really don't do that. But their relationship is really boring. As a guy that F's other guys, I get very touchy about how interesting, like, gay relationships are in media. Because you can do it in a way that's like, oh yeah, this is a character that's interesting and good. And then you can just have a relationship where it's like, oh, this is the boyfriend and he's like in the background and he doesn't matter. And to be fair, I guess that's better than like being weird about it, putting like a huge highlight all over it, but it's still boring. It's still like a boring character and I'm not going to remember them. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, eh. And that was the impression that I got from the Yang and Blake relationship, was that they weren't interesting enough to warrant like all the hype that they got. And they got a lot of hype. Even everyone in the fandom was just like, oh my god, I love them. They got together. And it's like, it is nice that they followed through with that because other people don't. But it's still not super crazy good or anything. But even then, it's not a big deal. It's just kind of there. It's just kind of in the background. The funniest thing was Ruby yelling at them because they got together. What the hell did Ruby say? She said like, oh my god, yeah, I'm so happy for you. It's just so like unintentionally offensive. They were not thinking at all. Yeah, Bumble, it's just, you know, there's dude, the relationship between John and Pyrrha is perfect, and nobody has ever topped that, not once. In Ruby. How's my day going? Pretty good. Jokes aside, I took that from a comment about an upcoming video game I'm looking forward to. Parry this, you filthy casual, with pleasure. Yeah, no, my day is going pretty good. I'm working on this for a little bit, and then I need to head out in like an hour. But yeah, I'm working on, this is a commission that I'm doing for a group of buds. They're doing like a DnD campaign, and they were very nice to commission me to make not just one character, but 3. So I'm making this one, and this one. This one is my favorite so far. I love their like cool elf person aesthetic. I say person because I cannot actually remember their gender. I think it's a girl, actually. But it's very androgynous, so even then, I don't know. Whatever, they're an elf. They're an elf, goddammit. And they got beautiful little frills. And a squiggle shirt. And their name is Fleck. This one's name is Potts. I was like, poor Sun. Yeah. Well, look, the relationship of Sun and Blake was also pretty boring. But at least Sun, like, met Blake's parents and stuff. Like, they were setting that up decently well. And at least it, like, sort of made sense with her character. that it's like, oh yeah, she has a conflicting relationship with the fauna, but her ending up dating one is, I mean, maybe, you know what though? Maybe I take that back, because that would still be like a tad predictable. Yeah, no, I mean, both relationships were pretty boring, honestly. Rose Garden is fun. What's Rose Garden? Dave me was too busy to make arts. At least I managed to make a tiny bit of progress on a sketch. Hey, man, any kind of progress you make is progress, you know? Each day is just going to pass by one after the other, and progress is just going to keep moving forward. It'll never go back so long as you've, you know, like, made the sketch. You'll just build upon that. Playing a half elk. Playing half an elk. But which half? Playing a half elf artificer? Is that how I say that? Artificer? In my upcoming game. Blake hit son. I didn't really like. Blake hit son. I didn't really like that. Did he? Did Blake hit son? Like, you're saying she like punched him or something? I don't even remember that. That sketch will be for something quite big, consisting of 5 parts. Oh my god! Wait, is it a comic? Is it? Can you say here whether it's a comic or not? Ruby and Oscar. Wait a minute. Wait. I don't know about that, homie. Ruby and Oscar? Are you sure? Isn't Oscar like a little boy? I don't know if I'm cool with that one. I mean, I guess he's a little boy with like an old man inside him, but Oscar's personality is a little boy. I guess Ruby is a teenage girl, but like, what's the age gap there? Yeah, she slapped him. Yeah, I mean, when you start getting like, unfortunately, that shows up a lot in every romance, like people slapping each other. I'm currently writing for a comic that I put up like an animatic related to the comic recently. It's out on Webtoon right now, and I'm slowly writing chapters. I wrote like a dramatic scene, and I put in like a slap. And then halfway through writing, I stopped myself because I'm like, no, wait. People should... This was between like 2 friends, and I'm like, people should not casually hit each other if they're trying to build like a good emotional relationship. Because that means the foundation of what they consider a healthy relationship, in that foundation is it's okay for me to slap you or hit you or hurt you physically in some way. That's okay. And that should not be okay. So I took that out and I redid some things to that particular scene. That's the kind of stuff you got to be mindful of. You got to think in like the long term, like these changes and every action I put into the story, how is it going to affect the story later down the line? You don't have to think of everything. Like some stuff can just lay in isolation, but something like that just sounds like too dramatic that I would think about it long term. Anyway, not gonna lie, I don't know their ages. I mean, if you just think of it as Ruby as a tall girlfriend and Oscar as a short boyfriend, like if you just think of it that way and they're like the same age, I guess I get that. Sure. I don't know. Oscar always came off kind of like a child though. God, do you guys remember the scene where Oscar gets like brutally tortured? I was watching that with Amber and she felt so fucking bad for Oscar. I mean, I guess I did too, but her reaction was so funny. She was so like just disturbed and uncomfortable with Oscar being like torn apart. And to be fair, I mean, it's pretty fucked up. I don't think I was really thinking about it that much at the time. Halfway through writing, you slapped yourself. I did, and I did not like it, so I took it back. I did one of these. I did one of those, like, whoa, you know, reverse time on myself. Didn't do a thing. My cheeks still hurt, but it's the thought that counts. You know, I tried. As of the current season, Oscar 15, Ruby 17. Okay, I get... Really? I thought I legit thought Oscar was like 12. I didn't think he was that 2-year age gap. I guess that's not that weird. Okay. I mean, I guess so. What are some scenes that they had? What are some like beautiful moments that they had between each other to kind of warrant it? I know shipping sometimes doesn't need to have like scenes, but you do it because, you know, you find them cute together. So were there any like good scenes between Ruby and Oscar? I guess their age gap really isn't all that steep. And honestly, once you get into adulthood, age gaps become a little bit like funky, you know? Like once you two are like consenting adults and you're in your 20s, if you have like a 5-year age gap or something, that's not the worst case scenario. It could still be bad, but at that point it's case by case. When you're an adult and then you're like with a teenager though, that goes into like, first of all, legalities, and second of all, like a weird power dynamic. So that's when the conversation gets weird. But they're both 17 and 15, like they both are in their teens, so that's no, okay, I've convinced myself. That's not that weird. It's not that weird. Could be a lot worse. Also they're both like nice to each other. I don't remember them ever being like toxic or weird, so okay. It's not that bad. Not that bad at all. Best part of the show, when he got tortured. It's just a short king. Yeah, okay. Just a little short king. Just a little guy. Do you think Ruby will end up with someone that she'll get like a romantic interest somewhere in the story? I don't even know if I want her to. Like, or not. Want is a weird word. I don't think I care if she gets a romantic interest or not. I think some people shipped her with John a while ago, but no. I see them as like weird friends. I do not see them as like an actual pairing. In Weiss's house, they had a like, oh no, be safe, no, you be safe kind of thing. Oh, do you remember what volume that was? Do you remember what was going on? Like, what was the conflict and all that? Because I think I remember this, sort of. Some of Ruby kind of blends together in my mind. I mostly remember, like, the main events of each volume. Also some cool fights. That one fight in the abandoned city where Crow gets poisoned. I like that monster. That was a cool monster. I like that monster. That is a cool monster. I don't know, kind of like Ruby is just herself. Yeah, I know, right? Salem attacking the thing. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, because they had, was that close to when, oh shit. Was that around the same time that, Oscar got tortured? And that's not a spoiler, because I already, well, spoiled it. I said it like a few minutes ago. Okay, great. Yeah. I mean, that's nice. No, you know what else is, Ruby had a strained relationship with Ozpin, which would put her in a strange position with Oscar as well. Like, they had some drama together that eventually did get resolved. But the fact that they had any drama at all, I think, is decent fuel for shipping. You know, because people like it when, people that they're hot for get in arguments. They find it attractive. They find it fun. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that, all right? Maybe some people just get horny. You ever think about that? Have you ever potentially considered that people get horny? When they look at Oscar and Ruby. All right, never mind. I immediately remembered that they were 15 and was like, perhaps I will not continue with this. Yeah, no, Ruby's pretty cool. No, you know what? Because we were talking about DMC earlier. Fucking... Are there even enough characters to create, like, decent ships in DMC? Because, like, Dante literally ends up in, like, a polyamorous relationship with Trish and Lady. Like, what else is that if not a poly relationship that they just don't admit is real? Hi, Yuki. I'm getting a lot of new people. Hello, everybody. It's very nice to see you on my streams. It's great to see, like, new faces. Also, Weiss is best girl ever. I do like Weiss a lot. Weiss has been getting great development as of late. She seems to be the only one getting character development as of late. It's so funny because, like, at the start of the story, she was meant to be like, you know, oh, the shitty bratty girl that, like, is written to be annoying. Like, you're not supposed to like Weiss. And by the end, she's gotten so much development. She's so empathetic. Like, she cares so much about, like, the group and about their safety and health. She had an abusive family arc, and we got through that, and her dad got his comeuppance. Like, all of that was great. Weiss is doing great for herself. It's too bad the main character isn't. I think Osmond is going to go away, not Oscar. All right, bro. Yeah, let's see. Gotta be at least under 10 characters of that. Yeah. I think Osmond's gonna go away, not Oscar. You know, I don't actually know how that works, because Ozpin, unless there's like a story reason why Ozpin is gonna go away, which I guess if we're supposed to defeat Salem in the end, he should go away, right? Because it was Ozpin that had history with Salem. It's not the other way around. You know, like Oscar has history with Salem. Yeah, you know, they'll probably write in the story somewhere that Oscar gets to keep his body and retain his autonomy. And Ozpin is the one that can finally, you know, quote unquote, die. Poor Ruby needs more character for her character. Yeah. It's the soup with no spice. Like, I needs it. They just keep giving her, like, weird superpowers and, like, weapons, and I'm just like, this doesn't change a damn thing. Oh, have any of you seen the, Ruby Justice League movie? And if so, what did you think? I thought, very, very interesting, but not remarkably interesting. If you can believe it. Like, interesting that they would even do this at all, but also the story in isolation was not very interesting. So, whoops. Skies of Harlem, thinking that we could have had it all. Man, I wish that I could play that. I'm thinking of the Plankton AI voice singing Rolling in the Deep. Honestly, like, look that up if you're into that sort of thing. I am heavily against the idea of people stealing voices for the sake of, like, repurposing them into like their weird like AI like marketing schemes and stunts. Like the producers behind Linkin Park made that like shit music video that was made entirely with AI art just so that they could sell this like unreleased song and capitalize on the death of I believe it was the singer of Linkin Park. They were capitalizing on his death by releasing this unfinished song and doing AI art to make a music video out of it. That kind of shit I hate. That's awful. But using it for funsies, like making Plankton sing Rolling in the Deep, that's funny. So yeah, check that out. Also, actors probably do put a copyright on your voice so people can't make AI of you. That's all I'm saying. I should probably figure out how to put a copyright on my art style as well. Because my art style is decently unique. That's all I ever hear people say is like, oh, what a unique art style. So if I ever did take off in a major way, I feel like I would not want my art to be concocted into some kind of algorithm and then used in AI art. Sorry, I just started talking about AI art all of a sudden. I mean, it is a hot topic, I suppose. Don't get me wrong, she's cool, but oh gosh. A new Justice League movie, didn't even know there was one. Yeah, it's like Ruby X Justice League. It's them like teaming up. Don't get me wrong, she's cool, but she just needs more time to grow. Yeah, do you mean Ruby? Because I agree with you, but that's the problem. We've had like 9 volumes and she still hasn't grown. What's the story about? You mean the Justice League story? Okay, I'll tell you one thing. Unseen villain, I won't tell you who the villain is. They make the Justice League into teenagers so that they get hormonal problems and they can't focus on being superheroes. That is actually the plot of part 1. Now that is actually kind of interesting. If not really weird. But yeah, they give the Justice League, they make them teenagers and that makes them hormonal and horny for each other. So if you want to watch that part, that's probably the most interesting part. Batman has SEX with Weiss, except he doesn't. No, but they have like a romance thing. I thought it was meh, that's fair. If anything, I would have had Ruby in the DC universe in their animation style. Ooh, you mean like had them be, what, 2D? I would have loved that. They made a Ruby anime that was 2D. That looked gorgeous. The story was sort of mid, but the visuals were great. I loved it. Copyright and watermark, best weapons you have. It's true. It's true. I need to take it more seriously, honestly. I'm just because I'm small doesn't mean that it won't eventually affect me if I do grow. So I should really take that kind of stuff more seriously. Oh, there's a good one of Plankton singing Tool. Oh, wait, which one? I love Tool. Like, I love Tool, the band. I go through, like, a lot of their music. I'm trying to get more into their earlier work because I know real fans will tell you to look up all their, like, older stuff. Is it canon? Well, oh, the Justice League Ruby thing? No, it's not canon, no. They said it was non-canon somewhere down the line. And you know what? Fine. Fair. If you wanted to have the most fun with this idea, you should make it non-canon. Because that way you can just do, like, the craziest shit ever. And I guess they did do some crazy shit. So, yeah. Alright. Kudos. The finale is, like, bonkers bananas. just in, like, what they're trying to, like, write into the story. It's so weird. So weird. But, I mean, hey, it being weird does kind of make it interesting. I don't know. The interest for me fluctuated. Sometimes I'd be like, oh, that's kind of neat. And then other times I'd just be like, okay. That was resolved in a kind of lame way. I wish they had done something more interesting with that. I don't know, at the end of the day, even when I complain about it, I still recommend people watch Ruby, even the not so good parts, because I find it fascinating to watch Ruby. And when you're And even if you go into it knowing it's not going to be great, it's still interesting to watch. It is an experience. Thank God. Yeah, I know, right? It's him singing to... singing the pot. I should look it up. I should look. That hormone plot reminds me of Justice League Action, where Stargirl, Superman, and Batman switch bodies around, and Batman gets to Teen. I mean, that's funny. If you write that in just the right way, that could be funny and enjoyable. That's like a super dorky idea, especially for, what was it, Batman? But I don't know. Sounds funny too. So, yeah. That's the thing with superhero stories, is that like you need to have, it's like anime. You need to have a certain stomach for superhero stories, because they'll be really, really dramatic, extremely well written, super fucking goofy, and intentionally stupid and unintentionally stupid. Like, they go through a whole range. And to get into comics, especially like superhero comics, to get into that kind of stuff, you need to understand that it's like a culture in and of itself. Like the newest Marvel stuff that's coming out, the old Marvel stuff was written a lot more like, typical conventional, decently written, like Hollywood movies. Whereas now, these like news stories coming out kind of feel more like comic book movies in a bad way. It just sort of feels like, okay, now we just got characters and they're just like doing shit in their respective worlds, and if it captures your interest, great. If not, I'm not surprised. Keeps me thinking that we could have had it all. Plankton also sings Zombies by the Cranberries, and his read of that is so damn weird. Because the Cranberries are Irish, and so they have a bit of an accent when they're singing, obviously, and it is not the accent that Plankton has, so the AI doesn't know what the hell to do, and so he'll just be like mispronouncing words really hard. Is this Minecraft music? Is this like the credits where they have the beautiful poem in there? Yeah, also, I'm listening to Minecraft music, by the way. Just because I always want to look up like some kind of music to put in the background of these, and video game music is a good go-to. Maybe the next stream that I do, I'll do that nostalgia stream where I go through my old videos. Oh, you had a funny story? Excuse me, I absolutely missed it. Nope. Prick, scroll the fuck up. Do as I command, goddammit. There's this hilarious story. Oh, Wub, I think it got... Oh my god. Wub, I think your comment got deleted again. I scrolled up. I did not see your funny little story. If what you mean above? I do not see it. I tried scrolling up, yeah. This doesn't seem like Minecraft music. Yeah, that last song did not... That's probably from like the Microsoft era or whatever. Not so long ago in this chat. Yeah, no, I scrolled up. The last thing I shared a funny little story above, and then I go, da-da-da, da-da-da, and the last thing I see with your name on it is the sketch will be for something quite big consisting of 5 parts. I mean, is that what you meant? I did read that earlier. Bizarre. You could DM it to me, and I'll read it no matter what. So. Feels more like quantity over quality. Comic book movies kind of became a meme in this day and age for how goofily bad they are lately. Yeah, I know, right? They sort of lost their mystique. You know what's becoming really popular? And I'm so fucking glad, and I so called it years ago. Video games. Video games getting adapted into, you know, something good. Back when I was a teenager, and I was watching That Guy with the Glasses, they were reviewing comic book movies and saying they were shit. And they were reviewing video game movies and saying they were shit. Growing up, all I heard was that these two genres were treated like shit. So I thought people are going to want to see good comic book movies, and they're going to want to see good video game movies. Then what happened? It's just business. If there's a market for it and people really, really want it, they will fight tooth and nail until they get it. And if you stop, I say this every single stream, if you stop fighting for the things that you want, it will die. It is up to you. And I know I'm talking about fucking video game movies, but it's the truth. If you want anything at all, you have to fight tooth and nail, because people will not give it up to you unless you make it real. If you want good video game movies or video game shows or whatever, or some kind of art in the world, if you want some kind of art to exist in the world, you gotta fucking fight yourself until it exists. And then it will exist. There you go. Because what are we getting now? We got a couple of Castlevania shows. Castlevania Original and Nocturne. I haven't seen Nocturne yet. Don't tell me anything about it. We got what? We got that Scott Pilgrim show that's coming out. Or is it a show or is it a movie? We had the Mario movie, which was honestly pretty good, I think. DM'd the comment. Look out for apparently a Zelda movie. Hey, I'm all for it. They were going to make a Zelda show like in the 2000s, and then it was canceled. But there was like a pilot for it that was not half bad. Back on my server, me and my patrons once joked around saying that my art is so distinct it would potentially fuck up every single AI. Save the art industry forever. You mean like the uniqueness of your art style would just like shoehorn its way into the algorithm and just like break everything? I love the thought of that. You done? You out of juice? No. Going. That is pretty funny though. Oh, you want to be a VA? You totally can. It's a bit of work to try and get like, you know, a proper mic and, you know, train yourself and all that, but it is absolutely possible. Don't be intimidated by the fact that this kind of stuff takes time, because when you allow yourself enough time to get into it and figure it out, yeah, you can do it. You can absolutely do it. I recommend definitely getting a condenser mic, and an audio box, if you haven't already gotten those things. A condenser mic, a cord, like a stand to hold up the condenser mic, and an audio box. It's quite a bit of money, yeah, but it's an investment. Like that's how you get like good quality audio, and that's how people pick you out from the crowd. It'll be like, well, at least this guy shelled out money to, you know, give us some good quality audio. That's way better than, you know, some other people would do. Henry Cavill is doing that for Warhammer right now with Amazon. Oh, he's like... Is he like pitching it super hard? He's, what's the word for it? I don't know, begging, pleading. There's a better word for this that I can't quite remember, but, yeah. Lobbying? No, that's a little more like politically driven. I mean, well, all things are political, even Warhammer, so... Now, Henry Cavill is an interesting actor. He's very deeply interested in, like, the nerdy, interests, like Warhammer and, like, The Witcher and shit. But he's also, like, a decently, well-known actor in, like, the... what am I trying to say? He's, like, a decently well-known actor in the, mainstream social zeitgeist. And so someone like him trying to get Warhammer its own like show and stuff, I don't know, that could potentially happen. I remember that Witcher show being rather popular. It didn't really do it for me. I watched the first episode and was just kind of put off by it. There wasn't anything in there that like really captured my interest. But then again, maybe The Witcher just doesn't capture my interest. Like the actual games and the story may just like not be for me, which is a shame because I do love medieval fantasy. That's what my comic is. It's medieval fantasy. But yeah, no, sometimes just like the way you present a story just isn't within my interest or within anyone's interest. Still though, Warhammer, that's a big deal. People love Warhammer. I mean, like, love it. Like, it's a very meaningful part of their life. What is a condenser mic? A condenser mic is this. So it is it's a microphone that falls under the like analog category of microphones. A Yeti mic would be considered like a more digital, and it doesn't sound nearly as good. When it's analog like this, the audio is it's how a microphone was built to work. It takes in your audio, like it literally takes in the vibrations of my voice. It channels it through my wire, and then it brings it, I can't show you it, but it brings it to my audio box. And that takes the literal vibrations from my voice that are channeled through this mic, and the audio box makes it digital and puts it on the computer. Having these two things work in conjunction with each other makes quality audio. Something like a Blue Yeti mic, which is a lot cheaper, sure. It does the whole thing within the mic, and it doesn't sound as good. It's cheap for a reason, because it's trying to do everything in this compact space, and it just does not have enough power to actually capture the resonance of your voice and then turn it into quality audio. It just can't. So, condenser mic, a cord, a stand. I use a metal stand like this, but you can honestly just use like a little 3-prong stand thing. Look it up. It's on Amazon. And an audio box. Audio box. I use PreSonus. That one is probably the best deal out there. I hear there's one called Scarlett. That one may also be good. Keep this in mind, you know? Yeah, the best advice I ever got was to get a condenser mic and an audio box, because it's great. I also, you may have noticed these poles here. Okay, this is maybe some overkill. Okay. I lost my job working at a sign shop in 2021, and I wanted to go all in on making freelance art, freelance voice acting. And I had a lot of money in my savings account by the time I was let go from that job. So I spent like $200 or $300 buying PVC piping, and I built a cage of PVC piping. And I have soundproof curtains that I keep over there. I have soundproof curtains, and I can hook them up, and that creates a soundproof chamber. my walls, you can't see it, but my walls have like soundproof curtains already hooked up to them. So I have soundproof, and then I put 2 curtains here. Soundproof, soundproof. I'm locked in. And that, to me, creates a great environment for recording anything at all. So yes. So I recommend, getting the mic, getting the audio box. You can figure out how to make a soundproof environment on your own, because there's a lot of different ways of doing it. Most people record in like a closet. I just didn't want to deal with that. So I went sicko mode and made my soundproof booth around my computer. That worked for me. It may not work for you. Do what works for you. The point is you need to soundproof your area as well. Anyway. Bless nerd actors, by the way. Hell yeah, man. They're gonna do the fun stuff. They're gonna bring in the new nerdy shit into the zeitgeist, which is interesting. My main reason is that I wanted to be clear enough and... I have a pretty cool podcast mic. Obviously, I don't use it for podcasts, but hey, something to brag about. Hell yeah. I did voice acting stuff with Blue Snowball, but yes, good equipment is a big help. But like anything, practice. Yes, practice a lot. Think about projects that you can do to stretch your voice acting abilities. It really helped that me and a friend of mine were playing a game called Danganronpa, and we did like a Let's Play series together. That was really fun because I was doing it with my friend. But it was a game that has a lot of characters with different voices. So I was going into it thinking like, oh, I need to make up a character for every voice, just because why not? They can't all sound the same. And because of that, I started channeling and creating like new voices. So that was a fun way of stretching my voice acting capabilities. Another thing is I started making a show, which some of you may be familiar with, I don't know, that's called Blind Dub. And that is where I just started watching anime that I've never seen before, and I turned the volume off, and I would just make up voices for all the characters, and I just have them do funny stuff, and I made a bunch of videos about that. You give yourself these little projects, and they make you better at voice acting, but you're doing it in kind of a fun way, Don't worry too much about, like, how you're doing it. The point is, allow yourself to practice voice acting. You don't even have to make videos. I just do that because I've been doing that for like over 10 years. Do whatever it takes to practice voice acting. Pick up projects or make projects yourself, and you'll be great. You'll be awesome. You didn't like the nudity. Fair enough. Nudity can make people real uncomfortable. I do worry about nudity sometimes when I'm making the comic I'm making. I do think like, oh man, is it gonna bother people if I get like too nudie with the characters? I'm not making porn, so I guess I shouldn't have too much to worry about. Campaigning! Yes, that was the word I was looking for. Thank you. You're currently painting some minis? Hey, Warhammer minis. Nudity, I blame HBO for making it standard for I don't know how to make a scene interesting. Yeah. My personal comic, the one aside from the current project, will be a pretty mix of medieval fantasy and super futuristic sci-fi. Ooh! You better advertise it once you have like a page or something to show. Electric magic. I've made a comic and a show and 2 movies. Sadly, I'm both young and too poor to really make them. Neo, you already confused me. So... you're saying you want to make a comic and a show and 2 movies, but you're just too young and poor to make them. I mean, everybody's young at first and then you get old, right? Like, don't sell yourself short just because it hasn't happened right now. It can happen if you just keep thinking about it, get better at your craft, and slowly start to work yourself up. 5 years ago, I was shit at drawing. And I mean shit. And I thought I was so cringe and awful. And I slowly started working on a comic for a client, and working on that made me much, much better of an artist. And then I excelled, I got better and better, and now I'm this good. And hopefully 5 years down the line, I'll become even better than this good. It's all a matter of just practice. And I'm sure you know this already. I just want to I just want to like re-up it. I want to always come back to it because so often you can forget something that is just so consistently the truth. And in fact, actually, the fact that you're young is a good thing because really, you still have like a lot of time and you have a lot of potential. Imagine being like a 65-year-old and being in the same position you're in. Just thinking like, oh my God, I'm probably going to be dead in like 20 years. How am I going to get good enough to follow my dreams? With you being however young it is you are, that means you got so much time to just like practice your craft, figure out what it is you want to do. All of that is, you know, within reach. It's a very sensible and real thing that you can think about. My voice tends to be pretty flexible, but it ain't of my interest to do voice acting. Yeah. I mean, some people are good at a talent and they just don't really make a career out of it. I can make a pretty good Black Doom impression. I often goof around with, wait, what is Black Doom? I've made the ideas, the story, and the characters for them. Nice. Keep that all written down, by the way. I used to keep a lot of ideas in my head, and then as I got older and dumber, I forgot. Yeah, no, I mean, I used to write a lot of stories as a child, and I would keep them all in... I'd keep them all locked in my head, and I would not try to expound upon them or write them down anywhere. And I don't know, I do sort of regret that. I feel like I should have written them down, at least. Because then I could, at the very least, expand on them. Even if they weren't great ideas at the time, there could have been a nugget of good in there that I could have taken and run with. Because that is often how I write anyways. You know, just taking like some of the good stuff, turning it into something great. You know, you can work from something rather than absolutely nothing. The villain from Shadow...
Shadow. Shadow, I need you to shoot the police. Shadow. Shadow, kill the president in Minecraft, Shadow.
I love him. I love the Black Doom.
Oh, Shadow, I love you so much, Shadow. How come you never visit me anymore, Shadow?
You do a pretty good Alistair impression. Ooh. That show is real now. It's happening. It's happening and it's coming out where again? Where is Hell of a Boss coming out on? It's some like channel I've never heard of, right? It's called like Goo Network or whatever. That's not what it's called. It's coming out on like thegreatgoo.com or something. What, are you out of Steam? No, you're not out of Steam. Keep looking at like the playlist and being like, did it run out? Did it stop? No, it didn't. Oh, okay. Pretty good. I don't know. Do I call it for this design? Rasterize and take it down a notch and then all right. Amazon Prime. Oh, never mind. Sucks that school waste most of our time we could have spent on grinding our skills in true careers. I'm getting to the age now where I'm starting to seriously think about like kids in the near future. And I'm genuinely thinking like, is it a better idea to homeschool them than it is to shove them in a public school? Because conversations like this, I don't know, man, it really gets me thinking. I'm like, would they be a better, more successful person if they were just learning from home? And if they found out like a skill that they really attach themselves to, I could encourage them to just continue on, and it wouldn't have to be like, well, you can like work on that skill, but you're still invested in like public school. You still got to finish that, kiddo. Like, you know, as a parent, like what the hell would I do? And so yeah, I've just been that's just been within my zeitgeist. I've just been like, oh gosh, how do I approach that? I don't know. I don't even have a kid though, so it's not like this is an immediate concern. But you know, wins I do. Do what you think is best. That's the best that I can do. But I think what's important here is that I do care. There are some parents that do not. So I think I'm already off to a good start. I just realized that the logo on the person's apron, it looks like the Starbucks logo. That's, you know, what's great. That's true. I took it from this. From, this is the friggin' reference photo that I was given, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Does kind of look like the like the Starbucks logo, doesn't it? Invincible Season 2 is out, but still haven't watched the 8th episode of Season 1. I haven't seen any of Invincible. Well, they do get the chance to go out and make friends easier in public school. That's my other thought, is I'm like, how are they going to socialize? How do I get them to like go out and socialize? I mean, there are ways to socialize without bringing them to school. It's just probably the easiest to do it that way. But that would be like a massive hurdle to get over. The thing is, though, it's not the worst idea in the world. I have friends and like family and stuff that were homeschooled and live like perfectly normal lives. The trouble is, some of them were homeschooled, but then had to go to like college afterwards. But I mean, at that point, that's their choice. So yeah, I have no idea. No freaking clue at all. Potion books. Does Starbucks still give you free water? I remember that being a major, well, not like selling point, but like that was an important thing to me when Starbucks first became popular. Because see, I'm old as shit. I remember when Starbucks started first taking off. In fact, I think it first got popular here in Washington. And I distinctly remember thinking like, oh man, Starbucks gives out free water. That's so helpful because I wander around my own neighborhood like a friggin' refugee looking for places where I can get water. And yeah, they would give you free water. Honestly, like, lots of places should give you free water. They should just have, like, water fountains that aren't filled with, like, shit garbage water. Because that's, like, a basic human right, isn't it? Gotta be. Gotta be. Starbucks, y'all need to wake up and give me some free water. It's been a long time since I've wandered the streets looking for water, but you know what? You need to provide. Alright, I think this is good for now. I'll send it to the client and ask them how they feel about it. I'm gonna start this one, but I need to leave in a little bit. The clock is ticking down, and I plan to meet up with somebody. I certainly can't talk about Starbucks. Never ordered anything from there. Really? Never? Not once? Not even like you were with like a friend and they're like, hold on, I want to get a coffee. You want something? Sometimes I'm driving my dad around and he'll insist on like going to Starbucks because he loves it. And I really do not go to Starbucks very much. My boyfriend does, but I don't. And anytime that I'm with my dad, he'll ask me like, what do you want? What do you want? And if I say like nothing, he'll insist upon it because he's a friggin' brat. So I'm like, okay, all right. I'll get, I don't know, friggin' mocha or whatever. So I often find myself ordering from Starbucks kind of incidentally, but I don't go there. It's just too expensive, man. I remember when Starbucks was treated like the cheap alternative. Like, oh man, yeah, I love going to Starbucks every single day because they have like cheap, affordable coffee. And nowadays it's like they make all the variety coffees that are like $7 fucking or something. Like, no, I'm poor. I'm just poor, man. I can't do that. Forget that. No. Any DMC fans out there? Do you recognize this character's jacket? Oh, you hate coffee? Ooh. Do you like tea? Or are you more into like Red Bull? What are your preferences? Yeah, any guesses on the coat? Anyone recognize this awesome coat from anything? Scud, do you recognize it? This, I must stress, this is a commission, and so the client did send me reference pictures. And they were like, okay, yeah, so I made this character once before, and they're like, yeah, he looks about the same, but with slightly longer hair. He has a vest like this, he has shoes like that, and he has literally Virgil's coat from Devil May Cry. So I'm like, damn, okay. I mean, it's a cool coat, so I can't argue with that. I love how many people love Virgil, because listen, man, I loved Virgil first. I loved him back in like 2005 when YouTube first existed, and I was looking up like clips of like Dante versus Virgil in DMC3. And it was only years later when I was like 17 that I actually bought the games and I played through all of Devil May Cry 1, most of 2, and I got really bored. All of Devil May Cry 3, I played all of that. And most of 4. That one was also kind of boring, though. I watched all the cutscenes, though. Sits on a lawn chair. You don't pay child support. Okay, I have to ask because there's DMC people in the chat. What are your thoughts on what are your thoughts on Nero? What do you think of Nero? Because I ask this because I was chatting up with my roommate, and I have some contentious opinions about Nero. I like Nero. In fact, I think Nero really came around in DMC 5. And I liked him a whole lot. He was both like a better actor because Johnny Young Bosch had really grown since DMC 4. So his acting was like really fun. But also like he had more like crazy moments where he could actually be like a silly action hero type character. But even then, I still have some issues with him. So I wanted to know what's everyone's opinion on Nero before I start getting with my contentiousness. I like him. He gets too much hate. Too much hate. Okay, fair. What a thing, though. Also, no joke. First time I actually played the entire DMC series was last year. Bought the HD collection out of spite towards Souls-likes. Wait, I think I remember this. I think you even like mentioned this at some point. I love Devil May Cry. I really should do a stream where I play one of them. Probably Devil May Cry 3, but Devil May Cry 1 is also good. Nero in 4 is kind of eh. He becomes far more fleshed out in 5. I can agree with that. Okay. My contention towards Nero, I like him well enough, and I want him to be developed more, because where he is right now, even with all the, like, even with the plot twists related to his character and the development that he got, I feel like he's only interesting as an extension of the Sons of Sparta. Like, he's still not interesting as a character on his own. He's only interesting when you put him next to the Sons of Sparta, who are so much more interesting. And the biggest part of his development, I feel like it's kind of squandered because the best part of his development does not make him interesting. It makes Virgil more interesting. You guys know what I'm talking about. Like, when that reveal happened, I wasn't so much thinking like, wow, that's so weird. Like, I can't believe that Nero is like that. Oh man, I'm just instead thinking like, Virgil did what? Virgil did fucking what? And like, there's no memes about like Nero in regards to that twist. It's all about Virgil like not paying child support and stuff, you know? I feel like he still needs development. He still needs like some solid moments that people can like hang on to and be like, oh, Nero, that's my guy. I love him. Devil May Cry 5 stream? I do have it on Steam. I could play it. Well, they had the whole series. Nero has only had 2 games. It's true. I think the creator even said that after Devil May Cry, he's done with the Sons of Sparta. He's done with Dante. He's done with Virgil. Which means he could make another game about Nero. I'm sorry, he's done with Dante. He's done with Virgil. Did I say that? I don't know. God, they have so many names. There was this one character analysis video I watched about him. The main topic was about how much he wants to prove himself and everyone puts him down for it. I definitely see that. That's 100% like at the forefront. It's the type of thing you see a lot in anime as well, of like, you know, the dumb kid character that's like the cool young rebel, but he's still not as good as everyone else. They have a recurring line in Devil May Cry 5 where they call him Deadweight, and he's trying to like prove to them that he's not Deadweight. That was like interesting enough, I suppose, but I think what would have been more interesting is him not having to prove that he's, you know, that, oh, I'm not dead weight, but to prove to the others that like their like shitty opinion of him shouldn't matter to Nero, and that instead he's just going to do what's right because he wants to, you know? Like, it sort of feels like an arc like that the conclusion to it, you know, like Nero is getting bullied. The conclusion to it shouldn't be, oh, I really need to impress the bullies so that they accept me, you know? I don't know. That was just something that was like pawing at me the more I thought about his development. But writing is something I think about a lot these days. So these like little minor discrepancies don't exactly take away from the whole story of Devil May Cry. I think you can still enjoy a great deal of it. I just want Nero to have more. I want Nero to be so much more because I do like him. So, give him another game. Get more story for him to do. We're already going in a great direction. I loved him in 5. Yeah, 5 was the latest Devil May Cry game. They may make more. 5 technically is shown as some sort of final arc toward Dante and Virgil, so Nero does somewhat take some sort of mantle from Dante here. That's true. You know what? In that way, that is true. That is true. And if you're looking at it that way, I guess I can see why the story would open up with like, oh, this guy's taking the mantle. This guy's not cool. And he then has to prove himself. It's not so much that he's proving himself to Dante as it is he's proving it to the audience. In that way, that is kind of neat and interesting. But it then goes back to my first point, which is Nero is only there to make the other two characters like look cool, I feel. And I don't think it should be that way. I want to love Nero for Nero. I think he's a beautiful man. He's also voiced by one of my favorite voice actors. I love Johnny Young Bosch. He's great. Johnny Young Bosch voiced Vash, the Stampede, in literally my favorite anime ever, Trigun. And that boy is wonderful and perfect. So, yeah, I want more Virgil. I mean, shit. I want more Nero. God damn it! I just proved my own point to myself. I can't even think of Nero. All I'm thinking of is Virgil. This is not Minecraft music. What is this? Someone give me like a playlist or something? What the hell? I'm just watching a really long video, by the way. Are you hearing this shit? This is like some Dragon Quest music. The hell? Feels like strangely out of place. I don't know. The whole world wants Virgil. Also, Nero, and I don't mean to be rude, but I just want to point this out before someone else does. The way you're using whole, it should have a W before it. Like that word, whole, it's supposed to be W-H-O-L-E. Unless you're doing that on purpose. If you're doing that on purpose, then hey, fair. But the way that word is supposed to be spelled is W-H-O-L-E. Like whole. Like I ate my fingers whole. Sounds like Zelda. It kind of sounds like Zelda as well. It's a little like Tears of the King to me. Gosh, I remember playing that in an airport. Like around the time that the game came out, I was going on like a trip and I came back from it. Just like sitting in the airport waiting for my flight to show up, building a shitty car. Without even realizing that like I didn't play far enough in the game to actually get the parts to actually build a car. Like I was thinking I was being clever. I had like a fan and a bunch of logs and wheels, and I was trying to make the logs into like a car axle, literally. And boy, that did not work. Okay, English teacher. I'm just saying! It confused me twice, and so I was like, I should say something. It's like remember what I was saying earlier about like homeschooling? This is my homeschool. Teaching everybody everything. If I were to teach my future child anything, it would be math. I genuinely love doing math, and I'm pretty good at it. I hate how everyone took this stop killing each other thing Nero did in 5 as power of friendship. Like, dude, those two are Nero's only remaining family. That's, you know what? I never even thought about that. I did not even think about that, but yeah, that is true. And you know what? Nero is technically being very, like, he's sort of like the antithesis of what Dante and Virgil have been doing for years. Like, remember the good old days of them, like, fighting in the fucking rain, and, like, that was just, like, their only way of dealing with things. Nero is coming in here and being like, can you guys just not fucking talk to each other even once? Or be, like, at all genuine with each other? So that's, you know, that's a decent point. It is directly working against this, like, vicious cycle that Nero and Dante got into. And meanwhile, Dante and Virgil are telling Nero that, like, he's in the wrong, but it was Nero that had to, like, break them up from doing the same thing they always do again and again. And the conflict of 5 only happened because Virgil is so obsessed with just being strong. It's okay. I'll give Nero that. I hate math with a passion. Well, listen, many do. I don't blame you for hating math with a passion, but I don't, because I'm, you know, cool. Back in the day, they called me the coolest tool. Because they would use me and manipulate me. To solve all their math problems. It's fucked up. Who wins, Nero or Team Ruby? Team Ruby, they'd kick the shit out of him. They'd use their silver eyes, and then, like, Nero would fall on the ground and his arm would fall off, and he'd be like, Then Blake would stab him, and then Yang would come from the back and stab him again. Like that one guy, and then they would push him into the waterfall. Yeah, it'd be sick. Oh, also, hello there. Urube Konbi. Really sorry I struggle with your name. I've definitely seen you a couple times before. I do struggle to remember your name, though. Ooh, I gotta end the stream soon. Oh, no. I was having a good time. Well, I got a decent way through. I got pots done, at least. Kashi is next, and then Fleck. Best for last. No, Neo, do you know what I'm referencing? That one really weird, honestly kind of disturbing scene where Yang and Blake brutally murder that guy in a way that just sort of seemed like kind of out of place and weird. And I say that guy because I can't remember his name, but you know the one. Sorry, I'm late. Did I miss anything today? You missed me ending the stream. I'm so sorry. This is always going to be kind of a short stream because I have a place to be. I may stream after I get back, but we'll see how I'm feeling. Adam. That was it. Adam. Yeah. It was fun to chill. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this was a grand little stream. I got to talk about stuff. I got to draw pots. Yeah. So, y'all take care of yourselves. I'm glad I got to talk about Ruby and DMC. Quite the pairing, I must say. And I'm happy to see some new people in the chat. I rarely get to see that. I'm going to come to the next stream, brother. This was fun. Hell yeah, Neo. Come on back. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye. Minecraft.